Hello, it's me, mayohosko, and welcome to my channel.
So this is my wooden railway layout. It's a pretty big layout in context of my room, and it's got all sorts of different wooden railway brands that I've collected over the years. It's taken me a while to put all the track down, put all the destinations on, put all the engines and rolling stock and accessories into the layout because I've been busy with other projects. So I think it's finally time for me to do a wooden railway layout tour. Please enjoy. So we'll start off with Knapford Station here. So at Knapford Station we have Gordon with two custom red and green stripe express coaches. We've got Henry with some Imaginarium branded orange coaches, and also James with some more Imaginarium orange coaches. And then in the yard next to Knapford Station we have the green tank engines, Percy, Duck and Oliver. So if we come off from Gordon and Henry's line, we come to an HO scale signal tower at the V-switch, and then we come to another switch with this custom other railway diesel pulling a train there, and then this V-switch comes into a lot of switches right here, and if we go straight from the switch here we come to the four-way switch, and this four-way switch can go off to the main elevated line that goes behind the layout and splits off near the mountain right there. It can also go into the quarry right here, and it can go off into Brenham Docks right here. So I think we're gonna start off with going from the quarry. So once you enter the quarry from the four-way switch, you see Mavis with these two tipping freight cars here, and she's talking to Bill and Ben at the switch. And then the line that I'm not sure if this is Bill or Ben, because it's from that really weird Bill and Ben 2-pack from a few years ago. And so this line comes around the curve with some other freight cars. There's actually a derailed freight car back there, and it comes to this V-switch right here with some more freight cars in what I like to call the quarry siding, because there's a lot of rocks covering the siding. And so going straight from the switch, you come around some more rocks, and there's Toby right there, and you come to the ballast chute of the Almsdale Railway, and there's no one collecting ballast right now. Actually, my custom mic is derailed, and so just a little quick tour of the Almsdale Railway. So here's my custom mic on the ballast chute. And the small railway line comes around a curve and down a hill to a V-switch. And then the other side of the V-switch is just this siding where you have my custom Rex and my custom Bert. All of these custom engines that I'll be showing in this tour will be getting an overhaul in my autumn break in about a few weeks' time. So that was the Almsdale Railway. It isn't much. I really only built the section of Almsdale Railway so that I could show off these three engines. And so back to the standard gauge line. It comes around a curve and there's another switch. And going right from the switch, you come to Diesel, who's next to Trevor, and Diesel is pulling some box cars right here. So Diesel's line comes back to the four-way switch, and in between the railway line here and the rocks of the quarry, there's Nelson and actually a take along lorry 1, which I've had for quite a while, because I used to be a big collector of take-alongs when it was called take-along, not take and play, and I sold most of them, but for some reason I didn't sell this lorry 1 right here. And so this other switch from Diesel's line and the four-way switch comes into more switches into Brenham Docks. And in this siding you have my custom Boko with some freight cars, and Edward with some with 4 red coaches. I'm not sure which brand, what the brand name is. All I know is that it's a home brand from Kmart in Australia. And on Edward's line you've got Cranky holding some cargo in his hook. And from this other switch, from the four-way switch, you've got another V switch, and there's 2 stacks of cargo right here, and there's a bell and 2 other bells in there. And this line from the V switch comes to another switch where you have Salty with some more box cars and some apple cider tankers inspired by Milk Tanker Media in this siding right here. And this switch converges at another V switch, which goes into 2 more switches. This switch coming off of the three-way switch comes into another switch where we have Paxton and some more freight cars, and also a lot of home brand, unknown make cabooses, or as I like to say, brake vans, because I prefer the British terminology. And there's another random bell, another crate which has a metal hook on it, and a stack of 2 shipping containers right here. And then the line with the 3 cabooses comes into another switch right here, where you see an engine covered with scrap writing inspired by the story Escape, where Douglas is trying to smuggle Oliver out of the scrapyard. They chalk scrap all over Oliver, so that's a reference to Escape there. And then there's an Imaginarium lorry right here. And so going back to that 3-way switch, there's another railway Imaginarium diesel pulling a breakdown crane right here. And then the line that diesel is on comes back to the line that goes into Gordon and Henry at Knapford Station. And so following this line, you come out past an unknown brand crossing right here, and this is an Ertl lady right here. I don't have a wooden railway lady, and I've got a few Ertl items here and there, but this is the only Ertl I have that actually fits on wooden railway track. And so just in this section right here, there's the Sodor road crew right there with the street sweeper and the garbage truck, and there's a random pig in that section of road, and there's a fire truck back there and another random HO scale building. And so the 3-way switch goes past Knapford Station back onto Gordon's line, and I'll go into further detail with that section over there later. So let's come back to Diesel's line beside the ballast chute, and you see a switch with two arched bridges that go into my yard right here, which has several freight cars in the sidings, and then there's actually some derailed pieces of track over there. So the reason these arched bridges are here is because this is the water section where this boat is, which just got loaded by Cranky, or could be waiting to be unloaded by Cranky. Sorry about that camera movement there. And then this arched bridge comes to another V-switch with a short siding with some buffers at the end and a few freight cars. And that V-switch goes to an unknown brand signal tower right there, which goes off to another switch which curves around, goes up a hill, curves around again, goes over the yard with all the freight cars to another four-way switch, and one of the lines from the four-way switch comes back down to where Lady is at the unknown brand crossing. And if you continue straight from that four-way switch, you see Den with some other, with some more freight cars on a bridge, an unknown brand bridge. And that goes on to a drawbridge, which is another one of those Australian Kmart brands of drawbridge. And then that line goes to the mountain with the waterfall I was talking about earlier. And then that other line from the mountain comes to, this is a Railway Series character over there from one of Christopher Audrey's stories. I think he's called Duchess of Hamilton, but he's got some tar tankers and an oil tanker back there, and that goes over another Kmart branded mountain overpass into a system of bridges. And then there's some more Imaginarium diesels right there. There's two of them, with two blue coaches from unknown Kmart brands. And this line comes down the hill to where you see Diesel 10 right there with a random cargo car. And actually at this double crossover switch, you can cross over to where you see Winston parked next to a bus and a police car at this random town made out of HO scale buildings. And so the line that Winston's on passes by some cargo and a random lion. I just stuck him there because I didn't have anywhere else to put him. But Winston's line comes to another switch, which comes into another switch, which goes back into Knapford Station. And the other line that Winston can travel on passes through the HO scale town where you see Donald with some milk tankers. And then Donald's line goes back into James's line at Knapford Station. Oh, and also this arched hill right here, where Stafford is at, right here, with a random coal car, is at a T-switch which goes into another T-switch where Edward's line is at Wyndham Docks. So I'm just gonna crawl into the layout a bit further right here. Try not to knock down anything. So if we go back to this double crossover switch, there's another line which goes to an HO scale station right here, where this Kmart brand diesel is pulling two fuel tankers. And that goes into a switch for a short siding by the station. And then this line continues past these buildings to another switch where there's a siding by the lumber yard right here. And this switch goes into another series of switches. And one of these lines goes into actually Thomas is supposed to be at this line, because you can see Annie and Cloudbell right here. So maybe Thomas is still at the sheds. Maybe his fire won't start, as a reference to the first ever episode of the TV series. And like I said before, there's Percy, Duck, and Oliver in this, in the Knapford yards right here. But going back to the lumber mill, you see an Imaginarium diesel pulling 2 more freight cars. And if you weave yourself through all of these switches right here, you can see Daisy in between the mountain, the drawbridge, and the mountain overpass, and that goes up the quarry mine tunnel to where you see Derek pulling a long line of boxcars, and then Derek's line curves around, goes under a tunnel, and then joins up with the elevated line that goes behind the whole layout here. And so Derek's line connects to a switch, which connects back to this 4-way switch right here. And there's another one of those Imaginarium white and orange diesels pulling some freight cars. And that Imaginarium diesels line goes over a bridge past the 2 switches. It curves around past the narrow gauge railway sheds, goes over another bridge. It elevates again where you see a Kmart brand steam engine pulling some fuel tankers over there past Tidmouth sheds, where you see another different a white and blue Imaginarium diesel pulling some freight cars. And that diesel's line goes behind the paint factory, where it comes to a series of switches. One of those lines goes under the waterfall mountain into another switch. One of the ways can go back to where this Imaginarium steam engine is with his freight cars by the lumber mill, and one of the lines goes under the mountain overpass into the Knapford yards. Another line from that series of switch connects to another switch which goes past the paint factory and into the turntable at Tidmouth Sheds. And if you keep going, you go over a crossing where you see Diesel 199 with some freight cars with a caboose attached to it. And then the line that Diesel 199 is on goes into a switch which branches off into several lines at Knapford Station right here, and obviously back into the 3-way switch with this white and orange diesel right here. And so I'm just gonna move further into the layout right here. Try not to lose my footing, so I can explain some more features of this back section. So this line that Diesel 199 was on goes past the power station, and there's another double crossover switch where Diesel 199 is. One of the ways goes past a Kmart branded diesel, pulling another one of those unusual breakdown cranes, and that goes into another 3-way switch with another Kmart brand diesel with the weather tracker car, and that goes past the Sodal Ironworks, and that curves around past this unknown brand shed where Spencer is at, over a diamond crossing, and this diamond crossing goes over that crossing where your Diesel 199 is pulling his train, under the drawbridge and back into Knapford Station and the 3-way switch where Daisy is at. And that 3-way switch by the Kmart brand diesel goes into a turntable, which branches off into the narrow gauge sheds, where in the sheds you can see Scarlowy in the middle, Rusty and Peter Sam off to the side, and then Duke and Linnaeus either side of Scarlowy. I'll have to try find myself a handle from eBay. And in these other sightings, you have Duncan and Luke. One of the lines from the narrow gauge shed's turntable goes under a Kmart branded crane into the turntable at Tidmouth Sheds. And one of the other lines, which comes from this massive elevated line that goes behind the whole layout, where this white and orange Imaginarium diesel is, goes over the turntable by the narrow gauge railway sheds. It goes into a switch, into a tunnel which is acting as some sheds right now, and go left from the switch and you come back to Tidmouth Sheds. And so now we're gonna look at some of the little details. Here's George just sitting there, and here's a series of trees and bushes right by this this pretty dense area. And I'm just gonna rotate myself. And here's a better look of all the freight cars in the yard. Some of the most notable ones is Scruffy and Rickety. Scruffy is a custom freight car right here, which I think I made out of that ballast. No, sorry, Blue Mountain Quarry car from the Peter Sam's Dynamite Delivery 3-pack from, I think, 2013. And this is a custom Rickety that I got from the Mr. Jolly's Chocolate Factory Cookie Cars 5-pack. And I've covered up the green of the chocolate Rickety to make him into grey. And just need to gather my footing again. Besides, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but there's Birdie besides Knapford Station, and then there's a random log right there, and then there's a blue car by my HO scale gas station and KFC, and there's Harold, who's landed on top of the gas station right there. And just trying to see if there's anything I've missed. Maybe I could go into detail about the HO scale buildings. So this is a series of offices, these brown buildings, and then there's a supermarket, a church, and a goods shed. And there's a station platform which isn't adjacent to any railway lines right now. There's a house under construction, and an oil refinery right there. And I think that's about it for my wooden railway layout. So, thank you for watching me give you a tour of my wooden railway layout. So here it is, all in its glory. So, there's nothing left to say, but thank you for watching.